بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا ونبينا محمد وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين، واللعنة الدائمة الأبدية على أعدائهم أجمعين إلى قيام يوم الدين. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. سلام عليكم my beloved ones ورحمة الله وبركاته. Inshallah, let's see where we are now. We entered the state of Ihram where? In Mecca. We left where? Arafat. Arafat, there was a primary stay and secondary. If you miss the primary, get the secondary. We did the primary, no need for secondary. We went to Muzdalifah at night. What was the time of Muzdalifah? Any time before Fajr is the pillar, the essential in the night. And the extra part is obligation until the sunrise. Okay, so this was the stay in Muzdalifah. Before Fajr, little bit fulfills your pillar, rukun, and from Fajr to sunrise, it is. So it's wajib to stay from before the Fajr until the sun rises. And we said sunrise is obligatory precaution to say the Sistani. Even before sunrise, if some marja tells you to leave, you can evacuate. So therefore, we have reached there. And then after that, we left Muzdalifah. So Muzdalifah at primary stay, which I mentioned, and then secondary stay, a portion of the day of Eid from sunrise to noon. And then after that, what happened? We entered Mina. Mina, there are three things we had to do on the day of Eid. We did pelting or casting the 7 stones to the big pillar of Shaitan. And then after that, we did the sacrifice or acquired the sacrifice. And then we shaved or clipped our hair to exit partially the state of Ihram. Everything became halal except for the spousal relations, spousal private relations, and the perfume. And after that, we had hunting on the basis of obligatory precaution, and then also the things which are prohibited inside the haram that stays always. We can't take the prohibitions of the haram, the place itself. So therefore, after that, if we had time on the 10th al-Hajj, we went and did the sandwich. So what is the sandwich? Tawaf al-Hajj, Salat Tawaf al-Hajj, Sa'i between Safa and Marwa, Tawaf al-Nisa, Salat Tawaf al-Nisa. Tawaf, Sa'i, Tawaf. So we did that on the day of 10th. If we were okay, not exhausted, not tired, otherwise, and it's recommended precaution to do it on the 10th. Then if not, then 11th, 12th, 13th, until the end of the Hajj, Sayyidi Sistan says it shouldn't be a problem, but it's better to finish it in the Ayyam al-Tashriq and not to delay it from those days. And then after that, we have only one wajib left, or we can say 2 wajib left, which is the 12th and the 12th and the 13th. 12th wajib is to stay the eve of 11th and eve of 12th in Mina. And then the 13th wajib is to pelt the stones, small, medium, large, 777 on the 11th and on the 12th. So let's take the staying in Mina. So he says, Al-Wajib Al-Thani Ashar, the 12th obligation of Hajj al-Tamattu is staying in Mina, eve of 11th and eve of 12th. Okay? And it is required, that means the night before the 11th. That means the day of Eid in the evening. Like 10th Dhul-Hajj at night, which is eve of 11th. So again, what is required? Number 1, achieving the nearness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and sincerity. Can nearness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala be without sincerity? Yes. I mean, if you seek nearness to Allah and nearness to idols, so that is you achieve the nearness to Allah and nearness to idol. But the sincerity, that means only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's ibadah, it's worship. You can't do it for Imam Ali alayhi salam. You can't do it for Imam Hassan alayhi salam or Fatima Zahra alayhi salam or Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Anyone else, no one. Only Allah, because ibadat, worships are only for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and only towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this is ibadah. So we need sincerity, khulus. So achieving the nearness to Allah, you can achieve the nearness to Allah with achieving the nearness to other than Allah. But then sincerity is required. That means only Allah. For the sake of Allah only, this act is done by you. Okay. So so he says, فَإِذَا خَرَجَ الْحَاجِ إِلَى مَكَّةِ. Let's say on the day of Eid, you did your shaving and or clipping of the hair and buried the hair in Mina. So you are going to go perform the tawaf and sa'i. Okay, you are in Makkah now. You have to come back. He says, if a person performing Hajj leaves Mina after fulfilling his duties and responsibilities of Mina, because you cannot do the tawaf without exiting the state of ihram, like without clipping of the hair, um, um, with a few exceptional cases we discussed. Okay, so it needs to be in sequence. So after completing the tawaf of Hajj and Sa'i, one should come back to Mina. After completing the tawaf and Sa'i, one should return to Mina or come back to Mina to sleep over in it, to sleep in it, to spend night in it as a sleepover. And whoever did not avoid hunting in his state of ihram, then he needs to stay the eve of 13th as well. So the obligation is eve of 11th and eve of 12th. However, if somebody did not did not avoid hunting, that means someone hunted, did a violation of ihram, then besides the penalty and besides the haram, he has to stay extra night in Mina, and that is the eve of 13th. Similarly, those who are in the state of ihram and perform private relations with women on the basis of obligatory precaution, they need to spend the eve of 13th as well. Okay. So besides these two, he says, besides these two categories, they can evacuate Mina. But when, this is important, when? After the dhuhr of the 12th Dhul Hajj. If he stays after the dhuhr until the sunset, until the night enters, if he stays in Mina, then it is obligatory upon that person to stay the eve of 13th as well until the rise of the dawn. After that, after sunrise, he pelts the stone and then leaves the Makkah. Because if he stays 13th, it's a package. You stay the eve, you pelt the 3 stones of that day, the day of that eve. That means if you stay eve, small, medium, large, 11th Dhul Hajj. If you are staying eve of 12th, day of 12th, you are going to pelt the 3 stones. If you are staying eve of 13th, then you pelt the day of 13 until Fajr. No, not until Fajr. You stay until Fajr and pelt the stones on 13th and leave. Now, why am I saying this? It is important. Keep in mind, people, they get confused here. They say, oh, so we can't go Makkah. No, you can go Makkah. You can stay in your hotel. You can do tawaf. You can do whatever. But at night, come back to Mina. At night, eve of night, and not the whole night, as we are going to see, 1/2 of the night. Okay, that's the only obligation of Mina, not to stay the whole day. But you said one should not leave until before Dhuhr of the 12th day. Yes. So let's say you were in Makkah one of the 2 half nights. let's say the second half night. You came to Mina eve of 12, you stayed one first half night, and then after midnight, you left Makkah. So now from midnight, you have until the 12th Dhul Hajj Dhuhr time. You were in Makkah. You left Mina to pelt the stones for 12th Dhul Hajj. So don't leave that after pelting the stone before the Dhuhr time. That's obligation. So it's not obligation only to stay in Mina. To evacuate Mina should not be done before Dhuhr. You said, I already pelted the stones, like in the morning. That's fine. Stay there until, what if I go Makkah and come back? If you want to go Makkah and come back, not with the intention of evacuation. So there's an intention of evacuation, intention of leaving Mina. So you are going to come back as like you're going to buy things or run some errands and come back. And your intention is, I'm going to totally leave Mina on the after the Dhuhr. Okay, here comes the question. We are going to take this in Q&A. But this is a practical thing. That's why I'm mentioning. Let's say someone stays in Makkah. Okay, he spent first half night of Mina. In Mina, after midnight, he left Makkah. And you said that pelting the stone can be done from sunrise till sunset. How if I come like sunset is like 6 o'clock, say, let's say. How if I come 3 o'clock there where the crowd is gone? Because our Sunni fellows, they pelt on the Dhuhr time. So you come Dhuhr time, it's a killer zone. It's packed with people. So how if I come 3 o'clock where most of the people are done stoned and they've left Makkah? I find less crowd, I pelt the stone and come back to Makkah. So my evacuation will be after Dhuhr. Fine, but if sun sets, then you have to stay eve of Mina also, and then leave until Fajr, and then leave after pelting the stones. So this is something which people, they like to do. They come like for an hour in Mina and they pelt the stone, and then they make the intention of evacuation. So when did the intention of evacuation happen? After Dhuhr. 3 o'clock is after Dhuhr, 3 p.m. Okay, or 4 p.m. But if Maghrib falls on you and you're in Mina, then you're stuck for one more evening. So therefore, let's see. ولكن إذا بقي في منى. So it is permissible for them, other than these two, the one who did the private relation, he needs to stay eve of 13th on the basis of obligatory precaution, and the one who hunted, he needs to also stay the eve of 13th. But other than these two categories, people can leave, evacuate Mina after Dhuhr of the 12th day. However, if he stays until the night falls, then it will be obligatory upon that person to stay eve of 13th as well until the rise of the dawn. Okay. Question number 426. If someone was prepared to leave Mina, he's prepared, he packed his stuff on when? 12th Dhul Hajj. And this used to happen when there was only one or two ways between Makkah and Mina. Now they have so many ways. People, they evacuate. Yes, it takes time, but rarely nowadays you will see somebody in Mina and the night falls. People, they can just walk. It's like 3 kilometers and you're out. If let's say if there's a congestion in traffic, it used to happen a lot, and the buses will move slowly. They will be in the bus and the night falls, and they arrive in Makkah at night. Yeah, but you were in the bus. That means you left Mina. Okay, you left. Evacuation was done. So this is the answer. If someone was prepared to leave, he packed his bags and packed his belongings and backpacks and whatever, and he moved from his place, from Mina. Let's say his tents were all the way at the end on the border of Muzdalifah. So it's a 3 kilometers walk just in Mina. And then he enters Makkah. So, and he moved where? Like half an hour before Maghrib. So he's on his way, okay, and there's too much crowd, and he got halted, and he just like stepped in Makkah. His one foot was in Mina. I'm just giving you like hypothetical situation that one foot in Makkah and one foot is going to enter Mina. In Mina, and one foot is going to enter Makkah, because we said the border is like attached. So, so does he have to stay? No, don't move. The night has fallen just now, and you have not kept your step in Makkah, just stay here. No, it's not like that. Okay. So he says that if somebody was prepared to leave, evacuate Mina, and he moved from his tent or his place, okay, where he was staying. However, he was not able to exit Mina before the sunset due to the crowd and so on. This doesn't happen for those people who walk, but in buses, and yeah, I have seen that situation. So therefore, if it was possible for him to stay in Mina, go back to your tent, or just unpack everything, then it will be obligatory. Or the resources were there. Let's say they did not take the food away and everything away, and you don't have that. Even there are some mini shops and kiosks. They were also, so there's no food, no nothing. You're alone, and so if you're able to stay, it will be obligatory upon you to stay, because this is, you have prepared yourself and you have moved from your place. So can you return to your tent or not? If yes, then it's obligatory for you to return to your tent or your place. If not, then it's okay. وَإِن لَمْ يُمْكِنْهُ, if you're not able to go back because you're still in Mina, okay, and staying was associated with difficulty and hardship, then it would be permissible for him to exit. So if he cannot, or he cannot stay back, or if he is he can stay, but it's going to be complicated for him. No food, no nothing, no resources, everybody's gone. He'll be alone there around the jinns and all those kind of things, and but get hysteria or psychological impacts or disease or problem. Anyhow, then just leave. However, you will have to pay a sheep or a goat penalty on the basis of obligatory precaution. Okay. Rule of thumb: if you did not stay in Mina, that means it's not a pillar; it's wajib. So there'll be a penalty of a sheep. Okay. Many people, they say, "Oh, it's complicated staying in Mina. I'll just stay in a hotel and pay this." No, then you are committing a sin also. This is if you are not able to stay in Mina, or if you are sick or elderly, or those people who cannot have complications and problems. For them, yes, they don't, they are exempt, but they pay a sheep, okay, penalty. But not guy who's like a horse and we can't stay in Mina for eve of 11th and eve of 12th. And he said, no, I'll just stay in my hotel. I'll just come and pelt the stone and go. So therefore, for that person, uh, it's a sin. You're coming to worship Allah. Why are you worshiping shaitan and disobeying Allah? Just do it. Just stay in Mina 1/2 night, or stay the whole night. It's the wajib is 1/2 night, but the concept is staying the whole night. But minimum is 1/2 night. People, they don't like to stay. But that was once upon a time where there's a smell of meat and filth, and you are sleeping in your tent, and after a while you'll smell like somebody has done it. Okay, either urinated. What? This guy was looking for a private place, and he just got the revelation to come behind the tent beside you and empty his stomach or empty his bladder. And you feel in the dream that somebody has done on you. And you open your eyes and smell, you lift up the tent. Oh my goodness, what the? So that's the thing that used to happen. And that kind of thing was kind of annoying a lot. You know, people, they bathrooms are less, and people, they find wherever private place, and you are sleeping in a nice private place, and this finds your snoring to be distractor of the sound and everything. So he finds all the factors there to empty his stomach. I know if you're going to have a lunch now, it's not a good time. But anyhow, so this is the thing that if it was complicated, okay, then you can evacuate, not stay in Mina, and just pay a penalty. 427. Uh, it is not required for a person to stay the entire night in Mina, except in the few cases, okay? Like the one who hunted, he has to stay the whole night until Fajr. So it is not required to stay in Mina the whole night, except in the cases mentioned previously. Therefore, if he stays the first half of the night, it would be permissible for him to evacuate or leave the after midnight. Let's say if he leaves the first half of the night or before it, let's say he chose to stay second half of the night. He was in the Makkah the whole day, resting in the hotel, then did his tawaf of Hajj and Sa'i. So now he wants to come back. So if he chooses the second half of the night, he left before the first half of the night. Okay, so first of the night he did not, and or before it. So he missed the first half of the night. It would be necessary on him to come back or return to Mina before the rise of the dawn. This is Sayyidi Sistani's fatwa, not midnight. But he says on the basis of obligatory precaution, before the midnight, بل قبل انتصاف الليل. Okay, not before the dawn. Before the dawn is the fatwa, but no, rather on the base obligatory precaution, just come before the midnight. So this is something which is very important for people to know, that they have to either first night or second night. Better to choose first night, you go home, relax, and next day compel the shaitan. You don't have to come in the morning. You can come 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, after the Qawm has done their pelting of the store. You can come at that time. Let's say, well, أحوط الأولى, recommended precaution. Whoever stays the first half of the night and then leaves after midnight should not enter Makkah before the dawn. Before the dawn. This recommended precaution, like it's better. Otherwise, if it's obligatory, I'll say, let me just stay the other half of the night. If Fajr is so peculiar, let me stay other half of the night. Let me stay in Makkah, come 1 hour before midnight. Let's say if beside your tent is going to take too much time for the taxi or the car, or to drop you on the 4th ring road or the 3rd ring road, or whatever ring roads are there, because they drop you there, then you come down from the bridge into and look for your tents. As long as you are in Mina before midnight, you're good. But if the traffic is in Makkah and you're still in Makkah and your taxi enters Mina after midnight, then there is an issue. So that's why best is, wherever they are, let them drop you beside the border of Mina, either from backside 4th ring or Muzdalifah, or from the front side, because it's not you alone. Remember, there are thousands and thousands. They are doing what you are doing. They're thinking the way you are thinking. So there is a traffic congestion for people coming back to Mina, especially the first half night. You will see a lot of congestion. So, and some stay first half night, some leave after midnight. So after midnight, if you leave and the taxi you take is congested, that's fine. Maybe you'll arrive in the daytime, as long as you are in the taxi and you left, no problem. I mean, it shouldn't. But coming in Mina is crucial. Okay, is there any way just we can just skip the night eve of the Mina, staying in the Mina at all? We don't want to be that kind of guest of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because Mina is the hotel of Allah, hospitality. Once upon a time it would be filthy. And that's the thing, that will you accept hospitality of Allah in filth and in the smelly thing, and somebody doing it here on your head or beside your head? So would you accept the hospitality? That's a test, like the mouth smelling foul in the holy month of Ramadan. I mean, you can brush your teeth. It's especially if you are going to deal with, and you don't swallow the toothpaste and you don't swallow the water of the mouthwash. All these precautionary measures are mentioned. I've mentioned in the ahkam of manasik, or ahkam of fasting. But this is the thing that Allah is invite. Come, I'll feed you with your sacrifice you gave me. I want you to eat from it. Okay. And stay in my presence. Okay. That's fine. They're crazy people. They do crazy stuff and it's smelly. Nowadays, it's not like that. As I said, because the meat is not there, bathroom facilities are so plenty. The people, they don't need to come behind your tent and do it. So therefore, it is just like yeah. So So is there a way we don't want to, if we don't want to stay the nights in Mina? Yes, there is a way. There are four exempt groups. They don't have to stay in Mina. Okay. So who are these four? So he says ruling number 428, the exceptional case or the exempt from those who are not required to stay in Mina are several. Number one, those again, the weak ones or the sick ones or those people, they are exempt. من يشق عليه المبيت, someone who which is difficult for him to stay in Mina. Okay, it causes difficulty and hardship. It's not that bad. Yes, once upon a time it was. Sometimes, I mean, we used to wish that we will stay in the third one. We used to try to use the third one, third exempt. Okay, I'm going to tell you that you can use it now as well, but in that time when it was filth and smelly and all those issues, we used to try to use the third exemption and not to be in Mina. Okay, so where would we? In Makkah, in the Haram. That's house of God. This is the hotel of God. So we would prefer staying in the house of God in the Makkah, inside the Haram, because if you spend the whole night in Haram, you're exempt from Mina. Okay. But you're tired, should not sleep in Haram. That's the condition. Who would not? I mean, then we will be like this. Tired, Arafat, day of Mina, exhausted. And now we want to that eve of 11th be in super guys, super Irfani guys. We want to stand from Maghrib till when the nights are very long in Makkah, like it's 12 hours plus, from 6 to 6, for example, 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. That 12 hours to keep yourself eyes open, you need those clippers with they use in surgeries, you see. So once you sleep, a goat sacrifice, okay? So because you did not stay in Mina, sleep in Mina, that's why it's called Mabit in Mina. Allah says, rest here. This is my hotel. Sleep here, sleep over night in Mina. So, so if you choose the night in Masjid al-Haram, it's the house of God and not the hotel of God, that's fine. It's recommended also to do amal. However, if you sleep or you feel sleepy, and if it is before midnight, make yourself inside Mina. Otherwise, you will have to slaughter a goat or sacrifice a goat or a sheep. So he says those people whom it is difficult for them to stay in Mina, it causes difficulty and hardship, or they fear upon their lives or their dignity or their wealth if they sleep there. this was once upon a time. Yani, nowadays you have caravans, you have security, you have people you know, they're with you all the time. Since the first day, they know you, they're your roommates. So, and then there were some women those days, they would feel their dignity might be humiliated, or people might cause them harm and this and that. Or guy, for example, is alone there and he's been chased by someone, or your wealth, so many theft would happen. So they would advise, don't take your money there in Mina, because in the tent, you are in the tent like 20, 30 people, and your bag is just beside you. Once you're snoring, after the fatigue and exhaust you have after Mina, after the Amal of Mina and Arafat, you don't know where you are, and your bag might be disappear. And this happened before. People will come inside and see everybody snoring in musical pattern. One snore here, one snore there, and whoops, somebody's bag is stolen. Somebody's thing. It used to happen before, so that's why. Um, uh, yeah, Hotel of Allah, but thieves are there. House of God, they used to cut, they used to have this a kind of scissor that you have belt and there's money. They used to cut the whole belt and steal it from you, and you will not know, and you're in your irfani state of the tawaf. Anyhow, so this number one category, fear or hardship. Number two, whoever leaves Mina the first night, okay, or before, let's say before the first half of the night, he left and he got preoccupied in Makkah. So he was 11th day of 10th Dhul Hajj, after Mina and these things, he went Makkah. After the Rami, and after pelting the stone and sacrifice and shaving, he went into Makkah to do this manasik of Hajj. Okay. He became busy. And subhanallah, those who do 5 minutes tawaf and 10 minutes tawaf running, they will do lengthiest tawaf in their life, and they'll take the farther circle. Yeah, obviously because of the crowd. So the tawaf of 15 minutes, it will take them 1 hour, 15 minutes or 2 hours, very slowly, because he wants to buy time. He doesn't want to go to Mina. So just he's prolonging his ibadat. So he says, whoever leaves before night, okay, before night, and he intends to come back to get the second half of the night in Mina, but he got preoccupied until the rise of the dawn. In what? In worshipping in Makkah the whole time. Okay. So he was whole time in Makkah, uh, except for though he was leaving Haram to eat, to drink. I mean, the whole night you are in Makkah. That means you can get out to go to the restroom, to go buy some food, eat in the restaurant, whatever. But when you go to the restaurant and eat, don't prolong more than usual. If you are normally staying in a restaurant half an hour, make sure that you stay 25 minutes and come back. Don't spend 1 hour in restaurant. What if the guy I was waiting and the restaurant was crowded and the food was coming late? That's fine. That's part and parcel. But your choice, this is not in your choice. The guy is making food and delaying. Whatever is in your hand, whatever is in your option, whatever is in your choice, you don't delay unnecessary delays inside restroom or restaurant. These two R's, okay? So that's why if you were staying in Mina, I mean in Makkah, in worshipping in Makkah, you can go and eat and drink and go to the bathroom and do the necessary necessities, okay? Like necessary, daruri things. So he said that he left Mina before the first half of the night, and he got preoccupied. وشغله عن العود قبل انتصاف الليل إلى طلوع الفجر. He became preoccupied inside Makkah, uh, worshipping the whole time And that prevented him from coming back to Mina for the second night. Yes, um, there is an exemption that except for except for a few time, or except for those moments where he becomes preoccupied in fulfilling his needs, such as drinking, eating and drinking, and so on. Okay, for that purpose he leaves Masjid al-Haram. That's fine. Okay, he can come back. Though Sayyidi Sistani doesn't use Masjid al-Haram, but the context is that he was inside Masjid al-Haram and he left Masjid al-Haram to eat and drink, and he came back to Masjid al-Haram, or went to the restroom and he came back, or took a shower and he came back. But don't prolong unnecessary prolonging. Okay, there will be penalty if you delay unnecessary prolonging, if you sleep there. No. So in this case, what happens? Except for these things, the whole time he was in Makkah worshipping. So this person is exempt from the penalty. That means it will be permissible for him to spend the half night or the whole night in Makkah worshipping. Number three, this number two we used to use, sorry. Number three, whoever leaves Makkah before he has to arrive in Mina. Remember the border of Makkah and Mina from the big pillar of Satan? Okay, that area just beside it, it's called Aqabat al-Madaniyin. Remember pledge of Aqaba of people of Medina coming to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the first pledge of Aqaba, second pledge of Aqaba, where the Prophet to send Mus'ab ibn Umar. The second year they did the pledge in the same place. So that area is called Aqabatul Madaniyin, the station of the people of Medina. They used to stay there. Okay, so in that station of Aqaba, station of Madaniyin or Aqaba, which is just a little bit away from big pillar of Shaitan. So you left Makkah. You did not enter the border of Mina, but you arrived there close to Mina, because after Jamratul Aqaba is after Jamratul Aqaba, and it's called Jamratul Aqaba. The first pillar of Shaitan is called Aqaba, Jamratul Aqaba, because it is in Aqabatul Madanin, or close to Aqabatul Madanin. Aqabatul Madanin, border between Makkah and Mina, Jamratul Aqaba. So if they arrive there, okay, at midnight, they are okay. So whoever leaves Makkah planning to return to Makkah, planning to return to Mina, and he passed Aqabat al-Madaniyin, it's a big area, he passed, so he can sleep there. فإنه يجوز له أن ينام في الطريق قبل أن يصل إلى منى. Before crossing Jamratul Aqaba, the pillar of the Shaitan, okay, he can sleep there, because that's the border. So before entering Mina, if he's tired, exhausted, he can sleep there. So he was in Makkah. Man kharaja min Makkah lil'audi ila Mina. Whoever leaves Makkah to return to Mina, if he passes the station of the Madaniyans or Aqabat al-Madaniyin, it is permissible for him to sleep in wherever he arrives before entering Mina, because he's in that border area, the in-between area between Makkah and Mina. So he has exited Makkah, but he has not entered yet Mina. And let's say he got exhausted, he can't move anymore. Khalas, sleep there. So this is the third category. Number fourth category, which is people who are bringing water for people of Makkah. That's once upon a time, okay? And nowadays, people that are bringing resources like food and drink and all those kind of things. They're preparing food, breakfast for HAJJ, and they were in Makkah. They were shopping this and that. But still, this we were going to see in Q&A answer. Does Sayyidi Sistani include number four, to the caravan leaders. The big number four is specifically saying أهل السقاية الحاج بمكة, people who are collecting water to bring for people of Mina, people who are in Mina. Okay, these people, they are in Makkah, they are going to get water, or the meaning is that no, there are people in Makkah, their job is to feed the people water, and without them, so they're taking water out of well and feeding the people. So still because this has been narrated, so what does this exactly mean? People bringing water to people of Mina. Our ulamas, they have some differences in opinion in exact meaning. And is it okay? This was once upon a time. Okay, now there are faucets and everything. But once upon a time, like Abdul Muttalib alayhi salatu wasalam, who digged Zamzam, his ancestors, they used to bring water from far away to provide it for Hajjaj. Okay, so if they're in Mina, they would bring it to Mina, if Makkah. So it's a broader definition, Siqayat al-Hajj bi Makkah. So they are in Makkah, their responsibility is to feed water to the Hajj. Now feed water to the Hajj in Mina or people in Makkah. So that's why they have to stay in Makkah. So it's not practical, so we will leave it aside. But the practical aspect, some ulamas, they say, those people who are preparing the breakfast for the people in Mina and this and that, are they included or not? Sayyidi Sistani has not mentioned here. We are going to see in Q&A that whether, because it's not a practical ruling, so there's not too much elaboration on or detail on this, unless if it is inclusive to those people who are preparing food for people. Let's say the people are going to, after Pel stone come into Makkah, and they will need their breakfast, they will need them food, and the caravan leaders, they are also Hujjaj. So can they just stay in Makkah preparing the food and breakfast and arrangement and not be in Mina? So that, is it inclusive? We are going to see in Q&A session. Okay. So these are the four exempt. Number one, difficulty and hardship or fear. Number two, spending the night in worship in Makkah. Number three, who's coming back to Mina to stay the second half of the night or the first half of the night, and he reached Aqabat al-Madaniyin. So he sleeps there. Number four, people who serve water to the Hujjaj in Makkah. The definition is in Makkah. Okay. So these, they can stay in Makkah and they don't have to come. Now, let me tell you some of the experiences of number two, because I know when I said number two, that if you spend the whole night in Masjid al-Haram, you are exempt, fine. But what happens that our group, we tried to be smart, and we said, no, we are going to stay. So I had this group of youth, we went there. So one of them said, oh, I feel sleepy. I feel sleepy. I'm going to sleep. Oh, no. Get a taxi. Go into Mina before midnight. If you sleep here, you'll have to pay a sheep or penalty or goat. So can't I go to the hotel? No hotel, no nothing. Just go. Yes, you want to eat something, drink coffee, drink tea, karak chai, whatever you like. Go out and drink, because it's necessity for you to stay awake and come back. Maybe you're hungry, maybe your sugar is low, you're feeling sleepy. Just get something, stay awake the whole night. Otherwise, we have to go back. So I see the group is like dozing and everything. I said, let's go before it's midnight. So Alhamdulillah, it was so much traffic, and we arrived there we entered the border of Mina before midnight. So that was something after that, no, I said, let's just spend one half of night, either first or second. After I see this, me also, I got like drowsy, and I was like surviving the way sometimes I give lesson and I'm swallowing my yarning and this kind of thing. So it was worse, because you're tired and exhausted, and just the eyes are getting closed. But still, I was trying to struggle, but I see these poor guys. And then some of those like gigantic giants, like the beast type of thing, oh, we are going to stay the whole night. And they took their backpacks and this. And so we came. And now we see these guys that are coming inside Mina in the tent. I said, what happened? Oh, we cannot survive. I said, you said that we are going to, and you're like, oh, beastie people. No, I mean, we could not. But when they arrived after midnight, okay, so they had to pay penalty. So that we should have stayed there and slept in hotel and pay penalty. Then you have committed a sin. Okay. So that's the thing, that you don't have an option to stay unless if you have fear or difficulty and hardship like it used to be before. But that is also nowadays it's not there unless if it was sickness. Those sick ones are elderly who need care, and those kind of people, they are exempt. Even their caretakers from the beginning, we said, from the Muzdalifa, we said, and Arafat. Okay, so now we know that you want to be smart, get like doses of coffee and then spend the night in ibadah, not gossiping, not chit-chatting. Nowadays, people are on mobile phone playing games and they say, Baba, no, only Allah. Communicate with Allah. Okay, what about Silatul Raham? Okay, can't I call my auntie and the whole night he has like 1,000 people, relatives? One. No, that is not one or two. Call your mom, that's ibadah, but not the whole tribe. Do you just remember now? You can do that the whole day. Uh, can we have discussions? Whatever is ibadah. After you do tawaf, salatul tawaf, if you read Quran, you're going to feel sleepy. Don't read Quran. Listen to the Quran. If you're listening to it, feel sleepy, you get into discussion of Islamic topic, teach something, ilm, or those kind of thing. Whatever has the pleasure of Allah in it. Not playing games, not WhatsApping, chit-chatting, TikToking, no, those kind of things. Ibadah. But that can be ibadah to certain things. What if you want to read a book? That's fine. So the thing is, these gadgets, sometimes they are used to spend the whole night. Or you prolong the tawaf. That's fine. Prolong the tawaf. Prolong your sa'i. Go slowly, slowly in your sa'i. Because when you're moving, you feel less sleepy most of the time. Okay, so question number 429. Whoever leaves Mina, then he has to sacrifice a goat or a sheep. Okay? Sacrifice for each night one goat. For some rich people, it's not a big problem. Okay, I'll just stay in my hotel. Yeah, but it's a sin also. It's like breaking a fast and feeding 60 poor. I can feed 60 poor. Yeah, but what about the violation? You are in ibadah. You are in worship. Yeah, he says that whoever leaves Mina, they need to pay penalty. Uh, so what about this exempt one? Number 1, 2, 3, 4. He said number 1, the person who has fear or the person who has difficulty and hardship, they will have to pay the penalty. Some Maraja, they say there's no penalty on them. So if you want, you can pay penalty on the base of obligatory precaution, or refer to another marja next in line in Alamiya, and you don't have to pay the penalty. But the one who's spending the whole night in Makkah, there is no penalty. The one who arrives in Aqabat al-Madaniyin but still not entered Medina, Mina, no penalty. People are serving the Hajjaj with water, no penalty. So he says whoever leaves, sleep over in Mina, he should pay a penalty of goat or sheep for every night. However, there is no penalty on the second, third, and fourth category. That means spending the whole night in Makkah, or coming, sleeping in Aqabat al-Madanin, or people serving Hajjaj. And on the basis of obligatory precaution, the first category, that means the person who's has fear, or it's complicated for him, he needs to pay penalty. Similarly, whoever forgot to stay in Mina or was unaware about the ruling, he needs to pay the penalty of goat and sheep. Whoever, for ruling number 430, whoever leaves Mina and after that he returns, after entering of the night, in the in the eve of 13th for certain thing, it is not obligatory upon him to stay in Mina on that because of that. So what happened? Let me just explain this ruling. I have to connect it with the ruling we said before. People, they need to they cannot evacuate before Dhuhr of the 12th Al-Hajj. And if they want to evacuate, they need to evacuate before Maghrib, before the fall of the night. Once the night of eve of 13 falls, he has to stay there until Fajr. So this ruling says, if someone already left, evacuated Mina, khalas. He forgot something, he forgot his cell phone, he lost something, he had to come back in Mina to look for it. For example, any need, he had to come back. He came back after entrance of the night, eve of 13th. So does he have to stay until Fajr? He says no, because he already evacuated. He came for certain thing. Once he finds, he'll leave. So he doesn't. لم يجب عليه المبيت. So this was the about the 2 nights in Mina. And the topic, the only wajib remaining is pelting the stone, 3 stones, day of 11th and day of 12th. And inshallah, that we'll leave it for our next session. وآخر دعوانا الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله